Time to check in, though, with Dick Ray. Speedway today, a busy day at the track, I bet, Dick.
That's right, Ken. The reshuffling starting to happen as we get ready for that all-important second weekend of qualifying. We'll get you up to date on what's happening here coming up next on Speedway Today.
Speedway Today is brought to you by America's Dairy Farmers, your Indiana Ford dealers, Lennox, and by Osco.
And a quick check of the race course shows that we're under a track inspection here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We got the all-important final weekend of qualifying creeping up on us. The musical chairs starting to begin. Welcome to Speedway Today. I'm Dick Ray. We're joined as always by Derek Daly and Robin Miller of the Indianapolis Star, and we're seeing some new faces and new cars pop up today, Derek.
No sooner had Roberto Moreno jumped into Alonso Sr.'s seat that he hardly even got it warm, and he jumps back out again, allows Tero Pomroth in. But I think one of the bigger stories, and we can get to that later, was Davy Jones joining Scott Goodyear to try and sort out one of the Budweiser cars.
Davey let go by A.J. Foyt early in the season, Robin.
Well, you know, and you can sympathize with the Budweiser team. They're kind of lost at the moment. They're trying to get some direction. Interestingly enough, A.J., one of his problems with Davey was not getting enough driver feedback, so it's an interesting choice.
We're going to hear from the car owner Kenny Bernstein a little bit later on in Speedway Today. One of the eye-openers today was the speed turned in today by John Paul Jr. in the number 46 car, running at 222.058.
And this will give John Paul Jr. and the Proformance team from Arizona tremendous confidence here. Remember, they have two cars in line still, but a speed above 222, I'm sure, pleases his owner Tim Duke, and in particular, John Paul himself.
Well, the cars are sensitive. You're running like us, we're running last year's car, and the cars are a little bit, they don't have the bigger sweet spot as the new stuff, and it's very, very tough. We're going to take out the car that we tried to qualify last weekend, and it's first in line Saturday, and make sure it's ready to go. But it's nice to have these three opportunities with the other car. We're happy that it went fast.
One of the all-time favorites, always going fast. Here's Gary Bettenhausen, Robin.
Well, I just talked to Gary a little while ago, Dick, and he went out today. They put his car back together. He hadn't run in a couple days. He doesn't need to. He's got 90 million miles around here, and he ran 222. Came back in the heat of the day and ran 221 and a half. So he's ready. And he says, it's funny. At 220 miles an hour, 222 is safe, but 220 nobody wants to take, and that's a very good point. I mean, that's the one. It's going to be ironic if Bobby Rahal gets up to speed, which he already is in this backup car, and he never gets bumped. I mean, what's his options then?
And as we take a look at Gary from earlier today, of course, they were disappointed for not being able to pass tech inspection. Gary said he just had to get away and go home and work on the yard and fix up the hot tub and come back with a fresh frame of mind.
Well, the other thing is, here's a guy that's got so many miles around here, and he doesn't need to be out running every day. And Derek knows that as well as anybody. If you got this place down, you don't need all the practice.
And the reason he didn't qualify, the car failed tech.
It's been very easy for me. I mean, I don't think I had 20 hot laps in the car before last weekend of qualifying, and we were ready. And then we just decided to park the car until today and just kind of chase the racetrack a little bit, but we're in good shape.
And here's your top five of the day, guys. No surprise, it's Emmo once again.
And this is not a full tank run. He does run with 40 gallons of fuel, but he spends most of his time running new tires, scrubbing them in so as they're ready for race day. Believe it or not, the Newman Haas team have used 50 sets of tires so far.
And Bobby Rahal probably hoping right now that he gets bumped out of the field in that Honda.
Right. I mean, I think it's pretty much a given, Dick, that Mike Groff, his team, made his history at 218. But then you have to look and see how many teams are out there left that can put a 4-lap average to go over 220 miles an hour. Right now, it looks like maybe 4 or 5. If the weather stays hot, maybe not that many.
Well, all month long, we've been telling you about the frustrations of the Bernstein, the King Motorsports team. They've got a new driver out today in a backup ride. We're going to be joined live by Kenny Bernstein when Speedway Today continues. Stay with us. And welcome back to Speedway Today. I'm Dick Ray, along with Kenny Bernstein and Derek Daly. I know Kenny Bernstein, a man who's been through the full gamut of emotions here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway over the years. He had a car on the pole in '92, and now with Scott Goodyear having a tough time and a new driver out today.
Well, we're having a little tough time, that's correct, with the Budweiser King, and we put Davy Jones in today basically to speed up our process of knowledge. We're about not to run out of time, so we're looking for all the answers we can, and sometimes with two drivers basically working that together, you can come up to speed a lot quicker.
How similar are the 93 and 94 cars where that information can transfer over?
There's not a whole lot similar to the two cars from last year to now. Of course, you always go back to your basics that you learned through the years. But John Travis aboard with us basically as the Lola engineer and staff and the designer of the car, he certainly knows both cars well. But mainly the bottom line, we're just not handling good enough for Scott to get him comfortable, and we're hopefully that by bringing Davey on, we can speed that process up. Scott's a fine driver. There's no problems there at all. Don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. We're just looking for some help in a hurry.
Kenny, did you learn anything today with Davey in the car?
Absolutely. We learned that what Scott was saying was exactly correct, and they verified each other, which is great, because now the engineers now know for sure that this is correct. Not that they didn't believe Scott Goodyear, but the bottom line is it's always good to validate what you have.
So what happens now with Davey Jones? You know both cars are not to the way Scott likes it. Will Davey continue to stay with the team? Will he make a qualifying attempt?
Correct. We will keep Davey in one car tomorrow, the T car, and Scott in the 40 car. We'll alternate running them to get them up to speed, and we'll try to qualify both of them Saturday or Sunday.
I'm curious, Kenny, what kind of mindset that Davey's under, having been let go with AJ and now kind of in a tough situation.
Well, I think he's in a good mindset. I think he's got a lot to prove, but at the same time, he's a good young man, and just like Scott, even Scott's had a rough time. He's crashed once this week. It's just unusual for him. So both of them have going through some pretty frustrating times, but they're race drivers. When they crawl in there and buckle up, it doesn't matter. They're ready to go fast if we can give it to them.
You're a race driver. How does all this interfere or help you out with your drag racing that's going on?
I'm ready to leave town and go drag racing. I've had enough of this IndyCar stuff for a while.
Kenny, people don't understand. How come the cars are so sensitive that people can get lost with as many engineers as you have on your team?
Well, that's really tough for me to answer. I wish we knew that answer. We could certainly fix the cars, but it's obviously that way. We just haven't found that groove that has made them happy. The cars won't turn. There's a lot of push in the corner. They're rough over the bumps. They're just not comfortable, and I don't know why. With the staff we have and with the talent we have and the computerization we have and the drivers that we have, especially in Scott's case for 7 or 8 days, have accomplished it. But, you know, that's racing. It's tough. It's sometimes just not your day to get it done. We'll keep working, and hopefully it'll come to it.
Are you watching the Weather Channel?
By all means. Obviously, the hotter it gets, the tougher it is, by all means. But it looks like the weather's going to be good. And, hey, it's good for everybody. Everybody's under the same conditions. We have to make it work, and that's the way it works.
I know hindsight's 20/20 had to be difficult to wave off the run that Scott had going last weekend.
It's always easy to look back at that, but at that time when John Dangler made that call, the call was 2:22.4 in his mind. He was absolutely correct. He had got to look at 5 cars in front of him, 2 of them who had never even run on this racetrack, ran 222 miles an hour. How could he not wave it off? It was a 2:21.8. He did the right thing, so that's the way it goes.
Is it a harder situation for you not being in the field like Bobby Rahal is, waiting to be bumped, or being the guy that's shooting to get in the field?
Well, I'd much rather be in there than out looking in. Believe me, you never know what's going to happen. You can lose an engine. You can have a tire go down. The weather can go bad. No, I'd much rather be in there.
Kenny, how much head scratching is going on over there now, having got the information today from Davey and Scott?
Well, it's helped quite a bit this evening. He's picked up some. We're still not happy, but it's given us a direction to go. I think we'll really now tonight have to decipher all that information, really understand it, get them together again, and then come out with a package tomorrow and hope we get it done.
Okay, they're good racing people. I expect to see them in the show come race day. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Speedway Today.
All right, Dick, thank you. Dick Ray at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.